Hi, everyone. If you hear any noises in the background, my cats are looking for a bunch of treats that I threw around the house to keep them occupied. So they're just scratching around looking for them. This week has been so weird. Um, I have learned some things about myself that I wasn't aware of before. So that's kind of different. I'll just start like at the beginning. So today's Friday, and this past Sunday was Alicia's only day off, and we didn't really feel like doing a whole lot. And so we just stayed home, and usually Mondays are when I take care of like the grocery shopping. Or sometimes, like the last few weeks, we've been doing Instacart on the weekends. So Sunday, I told her I'll go to Wegmans tomorrow, which would have been Monday, to get the groceries that we need for the week. And I said, you don't have to worry about it. I'll take care of it. I'll go in person. She's like, okay. And so Monday comes, and this was like maybe 12 hours later. And I woke up and I realized I do not want to go to Wegmans. It was raining out, perfect weather to stay in. But also, and as much as I like the rain and the clouds, I don't want to go do errands. It just makes them harder. It's the same thing like during the winter, like when it's snowing. It just things take longer than they would like if the weather was decent. And I just I was having thoughts of, I wanted to do Instacart because I knew I wasn't going to be able to go to Wegmans. And when I say I wasn't able to, I learned that I literally cannot do something if I don't know how to word this. So, like when you're headed, like you're in burnout or you're headed toward burnout and it's just everything just seems to require like a lot of effort, or even like maybe with people who have depression. I don't know what that would feel like because I don't have depression, but just things taking like lots of effort or more effort than you're used to. And I'm not in burnout. Bless you. I'm not in burnout because I have been so busy this week with work and like doing this and doing that. And I have been having so much fun because work is just pouring in. And while I'm busy, I'm making like pretty decent money. So it's a nice turnaround. I'm excited about what I do again. It's been a good week in that regards. I don't feel stressed. I don't feel like I need to take a break from anything. So Monday, I saw in my head an actual wall, just some random concrete wall. I don't know where it came from, but I saw that wall when I thought about going to the car to go to Wegmans, and I saw it in my mind, and it was as if it was physical, like it was a real wall in real life preventing me from like leaving. That's the only way I can describe it. And I'm not sure if I've seen things like that before in my head. Man, this sounds like I kind of feel like I sound like a nut job or something. I don't know if I do. And no offense to nut jobs. I probably am one. I don't know. I don't know how to word this. I saw a wall in my head, and that meant to myself, my body, my brain, I don't know, that like I just couldn't leave the house and go to the store. And so I realized that. Then it made me think about past times where like I'm not in burnout, but I literally cannot do whatever the thing is that I'm supposed to do, or I said I would do. It's so weird. Does this happen to anybody? So what I was thinking about was saying one thing and then doing another. And I know it doesn't sound like a big deal to tell your wife, hey, I'll go in person, and then just change your mind and do Instacart. That doesn't sound like a big deal, but we've been having communication issues. So we're kind of just trying to make sure that we're really communicating well with each other. because in the past, she would have just assumed that I was appeasing her by saying I would go in person and then the next day not, just because I was lazy, or, the assumptions that we make in our heads about the behavior of other people when we don't fully understand what's going on, that kind of thing. So I went ahead and did Instacart, and then I waited till Alicia got home from work, and I was like, I need to tell you something. And I explained why I did Instacart. I explained it sounded weird, and it sounded a little bit, I felt embarrassed a little bit when I told her that I saw a wall in my mind, and I literally could not make myself go to the car and go to the store because it was raining, because like all of these reasons. It just seemed like 12 hours ago, it was like, yeah, I don't mind. But all of a sudden, I can't make myself go. And the weirdest thing happened, which was she said she understood. And she never says that. But she said it so quickly, and she's like, me too. The similar things happened to me. And she explains what that process was like for her when she can't make herself do something. So this entire time, we both have something similar when it comes to why we don't do things, because we're so different. Our personalities are so different. So for us to find commonality in something like this, it's just a little bit strange, but it was also nice. And she didn't judge me. She didn't make me feel stupid or weird for sharing something like that. And she said she understood, and I really appreciated that. But I couldn't stop thinking about why did that happen? Is there a name for this? What is this? Where I have the ability to go and do the thing, and I literally cannot go. I cannot go to the door, open it, go outside. I can't go, but I can at the same time. I have the ability to. This is just, I don't get it. And I think that was kind of the start of a negative week for me. So positives were at work and all that stuff, but the negatives were, I was being negative toward myself. I haven't really been this bad in a while, but it's just every time I turned around, I was having thoughts of, I wish this was easier for me, or I wish I didn't have to put this much effort into doing A, B, or C. And so I think this is just one of the first times where I'm just talking honestly, this week I haven't been too thrilled to be autistic, if I'm being honest. It just seemed like there were so many obstacles that happened so close together. So yeah, I can't figure out what that thing is with the wall and why I couldn't go even though I have the ability to. I don't know what that is. But in the meantime, I can tear the house apart and clean it and do this and that and this and that and this and that. Everything else except get in the car and go to the grocery store. I'll do everything else except that. That is just so bizarre to me. Throughout the week, I have had imposter syndrome feelings in between the excitement for work. There's still the thought of, man, people are really paying me to do this for them. That's crazy. So I've had those throughout the week. And then today, Alicia wanted to go to Texas Roadhouse, which if you listened to my episode a couple of episodes or so ago when I talked about how delicious it was, I kind of didn't have that, I wasn't that excited to go, but I could tell she wanted to. So we went. And talk about negativity. So we get there, right? And it's 3:45. And it doesn't look like they're opened. So Alicia checked on her phone the hours, and it said it opened at 4:00, which was in 15 minutes. So prior to leaving the house, I had asked her if we could go to a store one of my stores where I get my lotion at. After we had dinner, I don't know, whatever. This seemed a little early for dinner. And she said, yeah. So once I found out that the restaurant wasn't actually open for another 15 minutes, I asked if we could just go to that store. And she's like, well, can't we it's only 15 minutes. We can wait. And do you know how long 15 minutes is when you have nothing to do? I can't just sit there and scroll on my phone. I don't use my phone that often. And I just wasn't in the mood to like scroll and read articles and do this or that. I just wanted to like do something. So I got super frustrated and I was like, why can't we just go to the fucking store right now? And then who cares if we come back and they're already open? Like, come on. And she didn't want to do it. And so I just was like, what? This is so weird. And what it also is I just sometimes, no, not sometimes, I never want to be the person that goes to a store before they're open and lines up outside. Like, I can't wait to get in there and get that fucking steak. Like, come on. I don't like doing stuff like that. It probably has to do with the fact that I worked at Family Dollar when I was in college. And I'd go open the store and there was a line of like 20 people and it'd be 9 o'clock in the morning. And every single time I would think to myself, what the fuck is going on with people around here who have nothing better to do than to line up in front of Family Dollar on a Saturday at 9 o'clock in the morning? I just always thought that that was the strangest thing. I know it was like judgy. And so if I'm not really into something, like if I'm going to a show and I'm first in line to get in so I can get up to the front by the stage, that's great. I really, really want to go. I feel like that's a legitimate reason to be excited to want to line up early. I don't feel that it translates for me to a restaurant that is famous for making steaks. That doesn't just, as delicious as that meal was the last time, it doesn't make me want to line up. And so I was feeling a little bit like, no, that's so embarrassing. Like, and then on the other hand, I shouldn't care what people think. But then on the other hand, if I had more hands, it was 15 minutes. Do you know how much you can get done in 15 minutes? And it's not even like we had to be back at 4. We didn't have an appointment to have a food there. We could have come whenever. But she was perfectly okay, was just sitting there looking around, scrolling around on her phone here and there. And she's like, I have patience, and that's good for you. I have patience too, but it's selective. Is anybody else like that? Do you just think that's weird, or is that just I don't think that's a me thing. I just think it's weird to line up at Texas Roadhouse before they're open. I don't know why. I just think that is so weird. And there was also a bunch of people in their cars in the parking lot. And as soon as they saw the door open, like lemmings, everybody gets out of their car and they start walking toward the restaurant like they're zombies or something. I just find that embarrassing. And because I was a part of that. Oh my God. And with the mood that I've been in this week, that was not something. I wasted 15 minutes in my mind. I wasted 15 minutes. We could have gone to a couple of places, come back, not had to wait for something to open up that we don't even have an appointment at. I don't know. So, anyways, so we go in there and we put our orders in and we're waiting. And I don't know how this came up. I don't remember how it came up, but Alicia had mentioned the new marijuana place that opened up in the neighborhood. I don't know, was it like a few weeks ago? Oh, I just want to preface this by saying I don't like talking about marijuana, even though it sounds like I do. I'm not trying to push this on anybody. I'm only talking about a marijuana place in this episode because it was the situation that happened today. And anyways, I'll just start talking. It'll make sense. It wasn't about marijuana. That wasn't the thing. So we're in the restaurant and Alicia mentions the place that opened up and she's looking at it on her phone and she's like, oh, you want to go there afterwards? Like, she's not going to go in because she works I mean, literally, like, I wouldn't say down the street, but she works in the area. And, you know, when you're doing substance abuse counseling, like, you can't be going to marijuana stores or, you know, be seen buying alcohol. Like, it's just taboo. You don't do it. So I was not expecting her to go in with me at all. That wasn't the issue. The issue was this place is so big. There's 3 stories, levels. So it's not just like a one floor shop. And I looked at the pictures on the website and it looks like a really big place. And I don't know a whole lot about marijuana. All I knew, like I knew enough to do my job properly, and I knew enough to know, like, I know why people use drugs. The I know the shit that goes on behind, like, I don't know. You know what I mean, right? Anyways, I don't want to go into this place that I'm not familiar with. I'm not a drug person. I don't have like years of experience using marijuana and have to be like, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing here. Like, this is what I'm looking for. And then they go walk me around and explain, this is what this is what that is. I don't want to do that. And on their website, it says that they're catering to people that aren't really sure what kind of strains to get, or, you know, what to do with like this huge selection and what everything's for. And they specifically said that they would have people there that would walk you through everything and explain stuff to you. So you would think that that would make me feel good. That the one thing that I like, there's going to be somebody there that will answer questions that I have. That's like always what I want when I go somewhere and I'm not familiar with whatever the place is. But there's this part of me that I couldn't go because I knew I was going to go in by myself. I don't have like people I do marijuana with. I don't use marijuana like that most of the time. So I don't really have, like, I don't have anybody that I would go there with, which I guess is one of the downsides to not having friends. And I talked myself out of it. I was like, that's going to be so embarrassing. And on top of that, all the sensory stuff I was thinking about, because there's going to be tons of people there, because this is relatively new, this recreational marijuana stuff. So there was going to be tons of people there, and it was probably going to be so loud in there, and who knows what it was going to smell like, and there's all these different things. So I was already, like, in my mind, I was at the store. I'll just call it a store. I don't know, a dispensary. That's too big of a word. I'll just call it a store. So in my mind, I was already there. All these things happened, and that made me not want to go back. And I never went there to begin with. So I talked myself out of it. And Alicia's like, let's just go scope it out. That's the word she used, scope it out. And from the restaurant, it was like a 10-minute drive. And this was during rush hour, like after work traffic. And I said, I'd rather not, because I know I'm not going to go in. So what's the point of scoping it out? She's like, you might change your mind. And so she drove there, and it's not like a place where it has its own parking lot. It's one of those places where it's like it's in the city and you have to park on the side of the road. And all I saw were rows and rows, not rows and rows, just on one side of the road or the other of cars parallel parked. And there were so many of them, I knew that they were all probably at that marijuana store. And so I didn't see a place for her to park. And she was going to go park somewhere, and like I was going to go walk is what she said. And I said, no, I'm not going to just go walk and you're going to go park somewhere. I don't know where the fuck I'm going. And I don't know, like, this sounds so stupid saying this out loud, but I really, really wanted to go in there. But I couldn't do it. Now, I don't know if this makes sense, but this could be anything, and it has been anything in the past. Nothing comes to mind right now because I'm feeling a little anxious right now talking about this. but I have been to places, just happens to be a marijuana place, but I've been to so many other places where I really want to go in, but because I've never been there before and I don't know the layout and all that stuff, I cannot go in. It's not I will not, it's I cannot. And I hope that makes sense to you guys. So, yeah, so where was I? Did I already leave the bakery? Did I even mention the bakery? Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. No, I don't think I did. Okay, so we scoped it out, in quotes, and I told her, hell no. Driving by it is not going to make me want to go in it. No. So I said, thank you, but no. And I said, I just want to go home. And she's like, you don't want to go to the lotion place? I said, no, I just want to go home. So because at that point, what happened to me was, oh, I'm sorry if I'm not making sense. It's like I realized, or maybe I just was having thoughts of, this is so fucking annoying. Why do I have to be autistic? And why is this such a big deal? It's just a building. People go in buildings all the time that they've never been to before, and they're fine. Like, why is this such a big issue for me? So then I start spiraling into, like, negative thinking, negative self-talk. I invalidate myself, and when that starts happening, how do I say this? Sorry. It's like I realize that I can't do something, and then I start talking shitty to myself in my head. And then right after that, that all just stops, and it's just this wall of apathy. I don't feel anything. I just want to go home and like go do work because I know I can do that. I know I like it. It will distract me from this shitty feeling that I'm having that I'm an adult that can't do a normal thing like go into a building. And so I asked Alicia for us to just go home, and like I really just wanted to go home. But she thought that she was going to be nice, and instead she took me to this bakery that I've never been to before, but that she has, and she thought that that was going to cheer me up, and that was really nice of her. And I used to be all about bakeries, but I don't get excited about bakeries anymore. I don't know if that's just because they made me fat in the past. I mean, they didn't, but I don't know. I don't really get excited about like sweets and stuff unless it's chocolate. And maybe I would have been a little bit like, ooh, a bakery if I wasn't feeling the way that I was feeling, but I had no desire to go to that bakery. And I thought that she took me there because she wanted to go in and she was hoping I would see something that I would like. It was not until we got home, and it was like a few hours after that, that she was like, I've been there to get stuff for like work birthday parties that they have at work. And she took me there because she thought that it would like cheer me up and I'd see something I'd like. And then she felt disappointed when that didn't happen. And then I felt disappointed that I didn't give her the reaction that she was looking for, and that she felt disappointed because of that. Like, what the hell, man? This is just so messed up. But anyways, we're in the bakery, and I don't want anything. I made it clear to her I don't want anything. I was just going in with her because I guess I didn't hear her properly, and I thought it was her first time there too, and I thought to myself, well, I don't want to make her go in by herself if she hasn't been here before. So it's a small place. She's looking at stuff, and there's these two employees, and they're probably like early 20s ladies, and I don't know how to describe this. I'll do my best, but I went in there and I had resting bitch face. I just knew that was what was showing on my face, because when I'm feeling apathetic, that's, my face doesn't do anything. It's just there. And I would get looks from people like all throughout my life. Like what this brought me back to was a few instances when I was a kid, and like, I don't know, my mom would have done something that would have upset me, and then I went into like that kind of mini shutdown mode, and she would bring me to a store, and I wouldn't act out. I wasn't intentionally trying to make like a mean face or anything like that. I wasn't rude. I was just being quiet, and I looked like I had resting bitch face. I couldn't help that. And whoever was around, like actually including my mom sometimes, I would get these looks like they would convey like, what the fuck is going on? Like, oh, like stay away from that one, or this is weird, or I just, you know how you just know that other people know that you're kind of the odd one out or you're a bit different. I never enjoyed those looks. Oh man, I hate those kinds of looks. I hope you guys know what I'm talking about. But anyways, so like I'm standing in there and I'm just, I don't want to look like I look. I don't want to have resting bitch face. That's the only way I can describe what my face probably looks like. I wasn't being rude. I wasn't saying anything. But whatever energy was emanating off of me, they were picking up, and I was getting those looks like, whoa, what the hell is she doing? And then I am standing there thinking to myself, oh my God, I'm 40 years old, and I'm acting like a child. These people probably think like I'm a fucking child, and I'm not trying to be. And then I just spiraled from there. Alicia got what she wanted. We went home. We're communicating a lot better, so I didn't make it awkward, and she was actually interested in understanding what was going on in my head, so I tried explaining it as best I can, and I still kind of feel like I'm in that mini shutdown. I guess that's what it is, maybe a kind of like a shutdown, and not really apathy. I don't know. It's probably a shutdown, but we were talking through it, and I'm out of it for the most part, but I still feel like just, I don't know, frustrated that stuff like this happens. And this hasn't happened in a while, where I can't do something basic. And then I sit there and I say the word can't. And that in my mind takes me back to conversations with other people where it would be like, I would say, I can't do this right now. And in their mind, I have the time, I have the capability, I've got the means, whatever. But if I said I can't, and they just think that means like I don't want to, or I'm making excuses or something. Do you know what I mean? And then that goes into, well, I feel like just make me look weak because I can't do something as basic as get into a car and go somewhere. I don't know. And so I guess I've just been on the fucking pity pot this week. Oh, I was doing so good with not swearing, I think. Wasn't I? I should stop swearing. I was doing so good with that. I was trying to be conscious about that. But anyways, and so I've wanted to get on here because there's a there's a couple of topics that I wanted to discuss, and I couldn't do an episode. And I know that that's normal. I know that just sometimes things happen, but I'm not used to not being able to do something. When I want to do something, I do it. And then when these times happen, and they're few and far between, they're not like frequent, at least not that I am aware of, but I can do all the things. And then when it comes to something that like I literally cannot do, but I have the means to do, like I just feel so down. I get down on myself. Like, what's wrong with you? You should be able to do this. Your thinking is fucked up. And so I just need to remind myself that I'm autistic. It's okay that I'm autistic. My brain is different. There are other people's brains out there that are like mine. So, and I know that now, so I don't have to be that hard on myself. But I don't know what this what this is. I don't know why I shut down like that. I don't know why I couldn't just go to the store, but I could do 50 other things with no problem. But I wanted to get on here and just process through it. I don't know that I understand it any more than I did before I got on here, but maybe somebody out there is, experiences this. Hopefully, I would think. Because it just seems like an odd thing. Like, it just seems odd. And the fact that I saw in my mind a wall, like, I am very like, I think about, if I'm reading, I'm imagining, like, a whole scenario if somebody's talking to me about their house, and I've never seen it before. All of a sudden, just this house comes into my mind, and that's how I think their house looks. I don't know, like, if I'm even making sense. But, so I'm used to that, but I'm not used to seeing, like, a symbol, a picture, whatever you want to call it, just pop into my mind and have me understand that symbol represents, no, you cannot do this. I don't know. Part of me thinks that I sound a little bit woohoo, but I'm not on anything right now. But I plan to partake in some marijuana that I ordered online from Koi because my ass couldn't fucking go into the store down the street. It's not down the street, but what is the remedy for this? Like, I really want to do something, but I'm too scared to. Therefore, I can't. And I can't make myself do it, no matter how much I tell myself, just go in. I don't get this. The brain is just so weird. Anyways, please let me know if you can relate. Also, I found a new obsession. I don't think I don't, maybe it's not an obsession, but does anybody out there drink Snarky Tea? Have you ever heard of that company, Snarky Tea? You probably have. And you're probably like, oh, this bitch again. She's like behind the curve. But Alicia was interested in them. She came across their website, and I've never been a tea drinker because it just tastes gross. Sweetened tea is gross. Unsweetened tea is gross. Green tea is gross. Jasmine tea, whatever, like gross, gross, gross. And so she came across this website called Snarky Tea, and they have like these different kinds of teas. They have wellness teas, and I'm all about drinking something that will do something for me in addition to tasting delicious. So I got this one bag called Wake the Fuck Up, and it's cinnamon, and it is, what did they describe it as? High caffeine. And it's the loose leaf, so it's not like you're just dunking that little tea bag thing in there. So Alicia, like, once it came in the mail, she taught me how to, like, measure it out and how, because I've never worked with, like, loose leaf tea before. And you put it in the mason jar thing, and you put it in the fridge in water overnight, and then you can drink it the next day. And so I go pour like a glass of this tea and think to myself, yeah, I'm probably gonna have to add a bunch of like stevia or something to it. And I took one sip, and oh my God, it was better than that steak at Texas Roadhouse. By the way, that steak wasn't that great today. It had too much salt on it. But anyways, that was rude, but it was true. Yeah, that tea, that one sip was better than that whole meal. I have never tasted such flavor from a tea before, and it was cold. And I prefer hot tea if I'm going to drink it, and I don't like hot tea anyways, but when I've pretended that I did in the past, when I didn't know how to just say I don't like tea, oh my God, that's a whole thing. Moving right along to, you should really check this website out and get some tea. Because I went on today and I got some dandelion tea because I heard that, like, everybody keeps talking about dandelions and they're eating dandelions and they're drinking dandelions or some shit. And so there's this bag of, like, dandelion loose leaf tea, and it helps with bloating. And I don't really bloat anymore because I don't have my parts inside me, but I still experience some bloating. So I'm really excited to drink these different teas and to experience the different things they say that they'll do for you, because holy shit, I had a few sips of that tea and I was wide awake. Like, I was like wide awake. There was so much caffeine. and I didn't crash or anything later. I can just go on and on about this tea, and I realize I'm already starting to do that, but I'm not going to. I just wanted to share that snarky tea is delicious. I also like that they have profanity as the names of some of their flavors. Anyways, I'm so sorry if you're still listening, because this means nothing. I'm just talking for no reason now. So I'm going to get off, and thank you. Sorry this is so long. I'm sorry if I swore too much. I'm sorry if my voice is like, ugh. And I'm going to come back here next time and not feel so negative about myself. Okay, thanks for listening if you're still here, and sorry for however this sounded, but hopefully, you were able to relate in some way. Okay, thanks, bye.